is up? 6 days post-op, almost a week. It went by fast. I'm gonna get my weekly update another day. However, today I want to recap a surgery day. Um, I tried to vlog, didn't do that well. I got a little bit of footage, so I'll just input it throughout this thing while I'm talking. But surgery was October 12th. That was last Friday. Um, my surgeon's name is Dr. Ali Aminian. I had it at the Cleveland Clinic here in Ohio. One of the best hospitals ever. And that's not just bias, like it really is. We got stats. Check us out. What's up? um, so where should I start? I will start with what I packed for the hospital, because that was a thing at one point for me that I wanted to see what did everybody take to the hospital. But when it came time to actually pack for the hospital, I was over it. So I didn't pack much. I packed toiletries, I bought my medicine, and I bought a bunch of clothes just because I'm here at my mom's house. So I'll probably be here another week or so. So I had to pack a bunch of clothes just so I have stuff to wear here. But you don't need nothing, honestly, unless you like me going somewhere else for recovery. You need clothes and toiletries so you can wash your butt, so you can go home. Don't bring all your medicine that they prescribe for you, because unless you have somebody to take it away after your surgery, they're going to take it from you, because they have to like tag it or something. They have to tag it and give it to the pharmacy until you're ready to go home, because they don't want you to self-medicate, I guess. That's what that was for. But she was like, yeah, you don't have any medicine with you. I was like, no. Have my mom take that home. Yeah. So don't overpack, don't overthink it. You might need some chloroseptic stuff, throat spray stuff. Mine wasn't bad. I didn't even open mine, so that was a waste of money, really. Yeah, the hospital gives you everything. They give you the socks. They take care of you if you have a good hospital. Unless you're outpatient, maybe you might need some other stuff. But if you having at least a one night stay, you're good. They have you covered. They're there to comfort you and make sure you're good. So don't be afraid to ask for stuff. Morning of surgery. Okay, so the night before, I went to my mom's house to spend the night because she was going to take me to the hospital in the morning. I had to be there. They called the day before and said that I had to be there anywhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. CPT, we got there around 8 o'clock, let's just say that. So I walk up to the surgery area to check in, and it was super busy. Like, I don't know if they schedule a lot on Fridays or just in the morning period, but it was a whole bunch of people there. There was a long line, but they got us through pretty quickly. They asked who I was with. I had a bunch of people, I guess you could say. It was my sister, my nephew, because he's only like 2, so he goes with us everywhere pretty much. And my boyfriend and my mother. So that's a lot, because usually it's only supposed to be like 1 or 2 people with you. So they took down somebody's number. I think they took down my mom or my boyfriend's number. So they have a point of contact for me when they need to contact somebody. And then they gave them a little beeper. They got them a pager, a little 2-way pager one time. And that was just to give updates on me while I was going through the whole pre-op and operation. So they gave that to my mom. And then they had me separate from my family. And they told them, okay, y'all can come back after I get dressed in the pre-op room or whatever. So I had to go walk down this long hallway down to the bottom. It was super dramatic, like, oh, bye, family. That was the point where I started to get like, oh, this is real, and got a little nervous. Because then it went from like first person, when you view everything from your point of view, it went from first person to like third person, some weird type of POV situation. Like I was out of my body, and I was getting, I wouldn't say I was super nervous, but I was seeing things a little, I wasn't seeing things normally. It was more like an out of body experience. Like I saw myself and everything around me. It was like third person. Right when I started walking down that hallway, like, oh, it's real. So when I got down to that desk, this nice lady, she was like, oh, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. Go down this hallway and check in at this other desk. So I went to another desk to check in and said, I'm here for my pre-op, whatever. So they didn't have a bed ready for me yet, because I guess they had a round of surgeries before me. So she said, okay, wait out here while we wait for your bed to get here. So I sat there maybe like 5 minutes, and they was like, yeah, you've been out here too long. We're just going to take you back, and then we'll transfer to a bed when it comes. I was like, okay. I didn't think I was sitting there that long, but okay. So they took me back to this room. I had to take a P test. I think that's the test for pregnancy, I guess. But I'm obviously not pregnant. So, and that was good because I was a little nervous, so I had to pee. So that was cool. I took my little test or whatever. And then I came back. She said, strip everything, including your underwear and socks, and put on the hospital gown. She gave me a gown and some socks. So I put on the gown and the hospital socks and I sat on the bed. Then the pre-op nurse, she asked me a bunch of questions. Basically, are you high blood pressure? Are you diabetic? Blah, blah, blah. The same questions they always ask a million times. Your name, your birthday. Do you have diabetes? Do you have high blood pressure? Any anesthesia problems in the past? Any family history? Blah, blah, blah. No. Okay, cool. She put in my IV. She gave me a motion sickness patch for nausea. And then she gave me a dose of Tylenol and something else in my IV. She gave me a nice little cocktail so I could relax. And she said that's just to begin the process for pain management, I guess she said. And then she put some Zofran inside a little package on my IV thing, my IV filter thing. So then once I was dressed and she gave me all my medicine, they allowed my family to come down. They let everybody come down this time. Because they said at some point only 2 people would be allowed to see me at a time, but they let everybody come. So we was pretty much just joking around, ready for surgery. And then my bed finally came, so they switched me out in my bed. And then at that point, as soon as my bed came, they was like, oh, well, good thing your bed here because they ready for you in the OR. So they was like, all right, ship her out, let's go. So my family came back in after they switched my bed and hooked me up actually to the IV drip thing, the saline. I don't know what it is, honestly. But they hooked me up to the actual bag because I only had the IV line. I didn't have the bag on. So they hooked me up to the bag after I was in the bed, make sure I was comfortable, and had my family say goodbye. We prayed, and then they left and went to the family waiting lounge or whatever. Then they rode me to the OR. It was freezing cold. When they get up to where they do the operations, it was freezing cold in there. He like, yeah, because I don't get cold often. So I'm just like, oh, I'm cool. And they kept asking, yeah, you want a blanket? I'm like, no, I'm fine. He was like, all right, when you get upstairs, it gets a little chilly up here. Just a fair warning. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I like the cold, so I'm cool. As soon as he rolled as soon as you make that little turn, and you know you're in that big bed, so they got to turn slowly. So it was like all this cold air just come. It's like a freezer. Like, what did y'all keeping dead bodies up here? I hope not. Like, knock on wood. Like, don't let this be a pretense to what's about to happen, because it was freezing cold on that floor as soon as you turn. And I was just like, yeah, I might want that warm blanket. He was like, I got you. So luckily my boyfriend knew the person that was transporting me somehow, because he knows everybody. I don't know how, but he looked out for me. He was just like, yeah, I got you. So he got me a warm blanket, and it felt so great. It was like warm from the earth itself. Like they put it in a little volcano and let it cool down with the breezes of Mother Nature. And he just laid it on me, and it was just like, you the best. You my nigga. If you was any bigger, you'd be my bigger nigga. Like he took care of me, man. I was like, thank you. So we got to the OR, we rode up, and I'm still in like third person. So I'm having this outer body experience, just like, oh, this is real. Like, you sure like this is real? So, and I'm kind of like frozen, but I'm kind of like going, I can hear everything, I'm responding to everything, but I'm still like, I feel like I'm not inside of myself. I feel like I'm looking at myself like, oh, this is serious, this is real, this is happening. So when I got there, the anesthesia team was waiting outside, and they was like, hey, my name's so and so, my name's this, my name's that. Great team. Everybody was so super nice, and I remember everybody's name because I'm big on like names and make sure I know people's names, especially people that take care of you, because I do customer service. So I want to know everybody's name. I want to make sure I know it, remember it. I remember your face, and I can say thank you to you, blah blah blah. So I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. How you doing this morning? How you doing this morning? And everybody's super nice. They roll me into the OR after I meet like the anesthesia people that were outside. So they ask you your name, your birthday, make sure they got the right person. Ask you questions about past anesthesia. I've never had an operation, so I was just kind of like, no, hopefully not. So it was like, yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna take care of you, blah blah blah. So they wheeled my bed up next to the operation table, and they like lowered it so it's the same level, and it was like, okay, we're gonna have you move over here. So they untied my gown in the back so that I wouldn't be laying on like any knots or anything. And then she was like, okay, 1 2 3. So we all helped me move over to the table, brought my blankets with me and everything because it was freezing still. So then next thing I remember is the actual anesthesiologist coming in, and she was like, hey, my name is so-and-so, because I didn't meet her before this because I was considered low risk. So I didn't have to go to the anesthesiologist and do an upper endoscopy or anything like that. So that was my first time meeting her actually in the operating room, and she just went through the safety questions again. So that was maybe like the 6th or 7th time that day that I had to answer the safety questions, but I guess that's to make sure you are who you are and they know who they got, I guess. So she asked all the safety questions. What's your name, your birth date? Have you ever done this? Are you this? Are you that? Blah, blah, blah. So no, blah, blah, blah. So I'm on the operating table at this point talking to the anesthesiologist. She goes through everything that she's going to do, but she's just like flying off with what she about to do. Yeah, I'm about to do this and then this and then this, and then you're going to feel this. It's going to be cool. And then we're going to do this, but you're going to be asleep, so you're not going to feel any of this. So we're going to do this, and then you'll wake up and you'll be great. And I'm just like, okay, girl. It was a lot. And I was just like ready to just do it because I was kind of nervous. So I'm just like, yeah, I kind of trust you. Yeah. So as they're having me put my chin to the sky and look straight up, it's like those weird like Grey's Anatomy lights up there. So I'm like, I've seen this in the movies and in the TV shows. So I'm putting my head up, and then I feel somebody tap me, and it's my surgeon's assistant. Her name is Valerie. It wasn't the same lady, the black lady that I was excited about before, but Valerie was cool. So she was like, we're going to take good care of you. And I was like, oh, thanks. Hey, Valerie. It was good to see somebody familiar that I already knew. And then like 2 seconds later, my surgeon came up. I saw him. I was like, oh, hey, Dr. Aminian. He was like, hey, we're going to take good care of you. Everybody's saying we're going to take good care of you. This is going to be good. No worries, basically. So then after I saw the surgeon, they tilt my head back, told me, look up at the sky, put your chin up as far as you can, and they like cushion you on like this little pillow thing. And then they put the oxygen mask over my face, and basically the anesthesiologist was saying that they replaced the air in our lungs with clean oxygen, basically. So you got to breathe in and out, maybe about 10, 20 times. And she just kept saying, yeah, that's a good breath. That's a good breath. I thought that was kind of weird. Like, don't I always breathe good? But she was like, yeah, that's great. You're doing great, sweetie. That's an awesome breath. I was just like, okay, I'm doing great. So, okay. And she was saying, okay, now I'm putting now I'm giving you some medicine, blah, blah. I forgot what she said she was putting in. But she said that, and then the last thing I heard was her saying, that's a great breath. You're doing awesome. And then I was just gone. And then the next thing I remember, I woke up in, they call it the PACU. Don't ask me what PACU stand for because I cannot remember. But I woke up in recovery. They call it the PACU. So I just remember waking up and they were saying, oh, you did great. Everything went awesome. And then I was still like doped up because I was just like, huh. And I wasn't third person no more. I was first person. I was back to me. And I was just like, what is going on? And they was like, you did great, you did great. And then I started coughing and I threw up. And I got a little scared from that. I'm like, dang, I'm already throwing up. They was like, it's okay, you're doing great. It's just from the anesthesia. So I guess the anesthesia was coming up, whatever that means. But I threw up. And they were trying to clean me up a little bit. And I don't know how long I was down there, or because I kept going to sleep. I wake up and I go to sleep. I wake up, I go to sleep. But every time I wake up, they say, oh, you're doing good. And every time I woke up, somebody was talking to me. So it was like, I didn't hear nothing you said before I woke up, honestly. I'm sorry. I don't even know your name anymore. Who are you? And they just be talking and just think you listening, but you just be high. And you just like, yeah, uh-huh. But everybody was pretty much saying, yeah, you look great. Everything went well, blah, blah, blah. Valerie, my surgeon's assistant, ended up coming to the PACU again, saying, yeah, you did great. You look great. My surgeon came. No, not my surgeon, because I was a live case. So they did my surgery live for, I guess, these medical students or soon to be bariatric doctors or something like that. They had a conference and I was a live case, so they did my surgery live. So he had to go teach a sermon. I was about to say a sermon. He had to go teach a class right after. So he didn't come down to see me in the PACU, or he didn't go to see my family either to tell them that the surgery went well and that it was over with. He called them on the phone somehow and told them that everything went well and blase, they could come see me. Somebody from the anesthesiologist team came and was like, you did great, thanks, and blah, blah, blah. It was just a lot of, you look good, everything went good. So that was a good sign, because every time you wake up from being in a daze, you just see somebody and they're like, yeah, it's great. I'm like, all right, cool. And you go back to sleep. Like, it was cool. I'm sorry, I keep adjusting. I'm just uncomfortable. So recovery was smooth. Besides throwing up, that was the only thing that was kind of weird. And I wanted to sit up. I feel like I couldn't really talk like that to say sit up. I want to sit up, but I feel like I was moving my shoulders, but I wasn't saying I want to sit up. So nobody ever helped me sit up. So I was just kind of laying back. But my mom and my boyfriend was able to come see me while I was in the recovery little spot. And they took a little bit of footage. I put it here. I got throw up on me. They didn't clean me up all the way, but it's not nothing crazy. So I look a hot mess. It's okay. Here it is.
Oh, see, I told you. Excuse me. I need some dead sex. Ooh, she got a smile, y'all. All right, this is her first family visit coming out of surgery. Okay. They said she's doing good. Uh-oh, let me see that. Thumbs up.
Yeah, looking crazy. But hey, everything went cool. I was high. I wanted to sit up so bad. But finally, they was waiting for me to get a room because they was waiting for somebody else to leave so I can get a room. So it took a few hours, but once I was able to get a room, they was so happy. They came and woke me up. It was like, yeah, we got you a room. Aren't you excited? And I'm just like, yeah, that's yay, whatever. I'm high, out my mind. I'm just like, yeah, that's dope. Let's go do what we gotta do. So they get transport to come and pull me through the halls. I fell asleep on the way to my room. I woke up. I was coming down the hall to my room. I was trying to get myself to wake up so I could see where we came from. I couldn't do it. Like, I was just so sleepy. But as soon as we got to my room, I was wide awake. When I got to my room, I was just like, oh, hey, I got a nice room. Because I wanted to see my room, because I wanted to see if I had a roommate or if I had a small room. I had a nice room, y'all. I had a room like the size of a living room. It was big in there. And I ain't had no roommate. I was by myself. I had a nice little flat screen. It was cool. I was impressed. So I'm like, okay, Cleveland Clinic and did it. I think because I did a live case, I did mine's live, I agreed to do that they hooked me up on the low, which I ain't mad at. All right, I'm with it. So I go, we get in the room, and then my nurse is there, my PCNA, not the nurse assistant. She is there, and she's like, well, do you have to pee? And I'm like, no. And she said, you want to try? And I was like, yeah, I do, because I want to get up. I wanted to sit up some more. So when they helped me get out the bed, close my robe up some, and I went to the bathroom. I was able to go to the bathroom, which was good, so that way I didn't have to put a catheter or anything in. Come on in. Okay, sorry about that. I had to watch my nephew for a little bit, but after I was able to use the restroom, that was good because they didn't have to put a catheter or anything in, if I could talk right. So she was happy about that, and she was like, well, you want to lay back down? And I'm like, no, can I stand up? Can I walk around? Because when I stood up and after I used the bathroom, that gas, I felt the gas pain, and it wasn't pain to where like, oh, I'm about to die, I'm about to cry, hurt type of pain. It's just really, really uncomfortable. It's just an uncomfortable feeling. Like you could feel like a gas bubble is in your stomach, and you just want to get it out, and you just like I want to sit. I think that's why I wanted to sit up so bad when I was in the PACU, because it was kind of uncomfortable, but I didn't really feel much because I was asleep, in and out of sleep. But once I was up after I got to my room. So I said, no, I want to stand up. Can I just stand up? And she was like, yeah, you sure can. And she was happy about that. And she was just like, oh, you ready to go, huh? And I was like, I didn't know what to think. I knew you had to walk around and you had to be up and at 'em to get the gas out. So I just wanted to walk around and to be standing up. So, cause sitting down, it felt so uncomfortable. So, not too long after, the nurse came in and she checked up on me, seeing how I was doing. I don't think she gave me any medicine straight out the gate. I think she just asked my name and my date of birth. It was really quick. I think she took my vitals and stuff, my blood pressure, my temperature, and they needed to get my weight. So she had the PCNA. I'm sorry, I'm saying I'm trying to remember. They had the nursing assistant. She walked me to the scale since I wanted to walk. So she was like, yeah, if you want to walk, we can walk. So let's go. So we walked to the scale, took my weight. Then we walked back and got my family because they were in the waiting room where the bariatric part is, or the hospital is now. So they were already waiting for us to come up. So they came and walked back with me to my room. And I got some footage of that, I think, where I was just walking around when I first got back to the room. I'll insert that.
Should take you to her room. I'm used to this.
Right, she walking too fast.
I'm used to
Right,
this.
slow motion for me, slow motion for me.
Usually everybody feels a little bit complain about the
Too
pain.
groggy.
Don't want to get up, don't want to walk.
Oh no, not a little tough guy. Thinking she doing it. Look at her half asleep, eyes closed, that wake up and get that done.
Yeah.
So she taking, well, this ain't your first walk, but these not her first steps. She went down to be weighed. You're tired. You're not tired. Oh, the water. You can only get a little sippy cup. You get a little sippy cup. I don't know what they gonna do. Tell them bring you a popsicle or something. You probably won't even be able to finish the whole thing now. She moving around pretty good, y'all. taking those steps. Moving pretty good.
Was that Danielle who walked it on? Or was that
All right. Go, David.
And basically, I just wanted something to drink and I wanted to walk around a little bit. And I was still kind of tired, kind of foggy. You could tell I was just like, just there. And I was just walking around in circles basically for a little while until I was sleepy again. So then I was pretty much in and out of sleep the first day. Every time I woke up, I got up and walked around. The nurses, they came in. I don't know how often they came in, but they came in when I was in and out of sleep and did my vitals and gave me medicine from time to time. And people was pretty much in and out. My boyfriend stayed the night. My mom and my sister left probably like later in the evening. I was pretty much asleep, so I wasn't much company. I know they was bored because I was just like in and out. And I was just like, every time I woke up, I saw somebody else and talked for a second, got up, and then went back. And they put the compression boots on. Those things feel so good. They feel like a massage. Those things was my best friends. Then my best friend came later in the evening. She basically stayed the night. She stayed till like the middle of the night and left. And an old friend of mine, she works at the hospital. She came in. But the first day was just a little gas pain, nothing terrible. But I walked around a lot and did the spirometer. I don't even know where my spirometer is right now. But I did the spirometer where you got to breathe in and try to make the ball go up or whatever. So that was cool. Did that every hour. Every time I woke up, pretty much I did that. And I walked around the room. The next morning, I was pretty much by myself because my boyfriend had left for work or whatever. So I got up and I was walking around and I used the bathroom and did my spirometer. They bought me some breakfast. They bought me an Ensure, a thing of coffee, a cup of coffee, a cup of broth, and something else. I think a Jello cup or something. And I was just like, I was not hungry at all, but mainly I was drinking water. Like the first day, all I drank was water. I had a few ice chips. My nurse at nighttime, she bought me a popsicle that I didn't eat. I think I did like I think I ate that for like 2 seconds and was over it. So I just threw it away basically. I was keeping everything down. I drank my Ensure the next day. It took me about an hour to drink that Ensure. They kept giving me meds around the clock. So it was a cool hospital stay. The nurse was pretty much like, yeah, you're ready to go whenever your ride get here. So I just had to wait for somebody to come get me. My mom came and picked me up. They brought me down to the parking lot and helped me get in the car. And that was surgery day. And it was sweet. I wouldn't say that it was terrible. It's just a little nerve-wracking. Once it gets real, it gets real. Anesthesia was the thing that I was most worried about, but it was an out-of-body experience when I got to the actual point of going under anesthesia. So I wasn't super nervous. I was just like, I guess in shock, kind of, because I was just like, oh, it's happening. This is really happening. And that's when my mind was just stuck on like, oh, this is for real. This is serious. So I was so busy in the shock factor that I didn't have time to be nervous or jittery really about it. But it was sweet. And when you wake up, you just a little woozy. You're not even woozy. You just kind of like out of it. You in and out of it. So it's just like, I remember closing my eyes and opening them. Something else was there. And you don't realize time and how long time is because you're so sleepy. So you go to sleep and you wake up and it'll be an hour. You go to sleep and wake up, it'll be 15 minutes, but you're thinking, oh, it's got to be an hour. So I went into surgery. The last time I remember looking at the clock, it was 9:36. Yeah, it was 9:36 when I looked at the clock and I was like, okay, remember that. And that was the last thing I basically saw besides the lights when they told me to put my chin up and look up at the lights. And then next time that I asked what time it was when I was in my room, it was like 6:45. So I don't know how long surgery was. I don't know how long I was in the PACU for, but it was basically a whole work day until I got into my room. So that was surgery day. It was sweet. I'll talk more about recovery and coming home in the next video for my 1 week update. Yay. 6 days post-op. We made it. So thanks for listening. I know this was a long video, but I wanted to just make it a story time more so than a recap. I guess you could say it's more of a story time. But I wanted to make sure I covered everything because I don't think a lot of people go through the whole day. They just kind of like sum it up in like 2 minutes. So I'm sorry it's kind of long, but you're a real one. If you made it to the end, appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.